Hello, greetings from Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Canada Day 2026. Sporting the Citizen Promaster diver, automatic Miota caliber 8204, day date. And just wanted to talk a little bit about this watch. I've had it a couple years, but just wanted to talk about it briefly. I basically, until very recently, written Citizen off as kind of a department store brand, until I researched it, realized some of the history, some of the credibility it has among professional divers, among aviators, and they've really kind of become an enthusiast favorite. They've released a lot of hits in the last couple of years. The Siyosa, the Fujitsu, Zenshin, the 40th anniversary Aqualand, the 40mm Navahawk, the list goes on and on. And they really have come to occupy a space in the market that Seiko used to dominate, that sort of sub $500 tool sports watch. And really this watch kind of hits the sweet spot. You can find it kind of between $300 to $450 Canadian, and at that price it's competing with the Seiko so-called 5KX, which is not giving you the same features this gives you. It's not giving you the screw down crown, the 200 meters of water resistance, the ISO compliance. It's kind of a spec down version of the SKX, and I've heard this Citizen actually described as the SKX replacement that Seiko did not make. And that's a good way of looking at it, and it really kind of fits the bill of that budget diver. Well, I hope you enjoy that little excursion to Niagara Falls. I had a bit more to say about this watch, so I thought I'd shoot a bit more footage where we can look at the watch in a little bit more detail. So we'll just do dimensions first. So this one's coming in at pretty much 41 on the diameter. Lug to lug, if I remember correctly, is around 50, 50 and a half. It is a bit thick. We'll come back to that later. It's coming about 14 thick. The lug width for strap changes is around 20, so that's good. And as you saw from my excursion, I had it on this black tropic style F-cam rubber strap, which I think works really well if you're actually going to be active with the watch, but I'll put that to one side for now. But I thought I'd put it back on the stock bracelet just so you can, just so I can show you how it comes out of the box. Just came in very standard Citizen packaging. My example, I was a little bit disappointed. I did not get the scuba tank case that some of them ship with. I don't know if that's just the luck of the draw, but just a standard box. But anyways, let's just very briefly go through this watch. It has a 60-click unidirectional ratcheting bezel, pretty decent action. A little bit, I don't know if you can hear that, a little bit tinny sounding. Could be a little more solid construction, but aluminum insert on that. Just printed numerals on the bezel. Dial and hands, it's really got a nice dial. It's got this sort of fume effect on the dial, so it starts as kind of this burnt yellow or orange color in the center and then degrades to a kind of a black around the periphery, and it's got a nice you know, sand texture to it as well, which is nice for a diver. It's got the Citizen sort of embossed there, and then has the Promaster diver logo there. Automatic divers 200 meter. The all-important apostrophe S, meaning it's the you know, ISO certified diver. Has a nice crown. Did we measure the crown? Don't think so. So about 6.5 mil on the crown. Signed crown with the Promaster logo etched in there. So overall, a really nice package. Again, as I mentioned, it's running the Miyota 8204 day date. Complication, as you can see here. A useful thing to have, I think, if it's a daily wear. You've got the hands, which you've kind of got the Mercedes hand set on the hour. Will maybe be a little bit polarizing. Some people may either like it or not like it because it is reminiscent of the Rolex Submariner. But this is actually, I believe, sort of a modern reinterpretation of a 1970s Citizen Challenge diver that also had the handset that way. So they also have a claim to that in their back catalog. So not strictly an homage, if that sort of thing bothers you. It's got really nice indices, very thick rectangular indices, except for the 12 o'clock where you have that triangle. Very generously filled with lume. The lume on this is great, performs really well after dark. So Seconds hand has that sort of lollipop along the periphery, which is also loomed, and you can easily track the seconds in low light conditions. So that's a bit of a rundown on the dial and hands. The finishing on this watch is quite basic. I mean, it's just all brushed. As you can see, it's well executed, but nothing fancy going on here. And just sort of a minor point of criticism, it would have been nice to see a little bit of more definition between the sort of the side of the case and the top of the lugs. It's a little bit you know, undefined, I would say. It would be nice if it were a little bit sharper to the eye. Not expecting anything crazy, any fancy chamfering or polishing on a watch at this price point, but it just looks a little bit unfinished almost. I think another reviewer I saw kind of said it had almost like a prototype sort of vibe, and I can kind of see where he's coming from with that comment. So there's that you know, is arguably something they could improve. But again, at the price point for a tool watch, all brushed finish is to be expected. It is a bit high. You've got the screw down case back, securing that water resistance, hiding the Miyota 8204 movement, as I mentioned. A robust movement, not a premium Miyota movement by any stretch. You know, they obviously have their 9000 series, which is better, but you know, very robust movement, easily serviced, gets the job done. The screw down case back does add quite a bit of height, though, as you can see. We measured it at 14 mil, so it does sit a bit tall. And if it's on the on a strap without kind of the counterbalance of this clasp on the bracelet, it can wear a bit top heavy. It can kind of shift around a bit on the wrist. So that's something to bear in mind if you, you know, if you don't like that sort of thing, or if you know, just it's not really a skin diver in you know, because of that thickness, although the styling is obviously reminiscent of a skin diver. Has the lack of crown guards here, which I kind of like. Just very simple, very straightforward, you know, a diver design. Moving on to the bracelet, you actually do get a very nice bracelet with this. This is just the stock Citizen bracelet. So you are getting a milled scissor clasp, which is really impressive. And you know, the fold over security. And you're also getting a ratcheting diver's extension. So you could, in theory, put this on over a wetsuit and do some serious diving with it. That's really quite good, I think, for the money, compared to, like, say, a Seiko Prospex diver, which, you know, you're getting, even at a, you know, higher price point than the Citizen, you're just getting the stamp clasp. You're already getting a diver's extension, but it's a little bit, can I even do it on camera, is the question. Hold on, where is it? Where's the diver's? It's over here. There we go. You're getting a diver's extension, but it's a little bit clumsier. As you can see, I'm struggling with it. There it is. So, you know, the Citizen, you're kind of getting decent value for your money there, in terms of the way the you're milled instead of press clasp, and ratcheting diver's extension. Pretty slick. You could also, I guess, use this as like on the fly adjust if your wrist swells in the heat. Maybe not the most elegant deployment of that, but still, it's something. You do sacrifice micro adjustment holes for that system, however. And so that's a trade-off you just have to be willing to make. You're not going to be able to fine-tune the fit potentially with this the way you could with, you know, with micro adjust holes. They do, however, have these sort of half links here, so you could perhaps remove one of them and kind of dial in the fit. But, you know, a nice bracelet overall, I would say. Nice bracelet for the price point. Here's how the watch looks on my roughly 7-inch wrist, so it wears reasonably well. Down the barrel shot, if I can do that, it does wears a bit tall, as you can kind of see. That's the only, I guess, downside, I would say. However, on the whole, a pretty solid package, all things considered. And one that I would have no hesitation recommending, especially if you can get it between $300 and $400. I think it's a really good value. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more content. Catch you in the next one.